Okay, we're going to do some story problems, also known as word problems. Got some little monster friends that are going to walk us through with us. They are going to remind us that we always want to follow the steps on our story problems. We're not going to try to solve it right away. We actually have some steps to make sure that we solve it correctly and that we check our work. If you forget what these steps are, we've got them written here. And remember Google Classroom? There's our look on the wall for our math charts. We also have it right here. I even did two of them just because I couldn't decide which one I liked better. Story problem solving steps, story problem strategies. So they're all the same little steps there, but we're going to walk through them. That first one says, read the problem carefully. So I'm going to go read this problem carefully. I'm going to think while I'm reading. Does it make sense to me? Do I understand it? Here we go. There are four monsters sitting on our front porch. Okay, I know what four is. Monsters sitting on the front porch. Okay. Each one peeks through the windows with their three eyes. Oh, each one peeks or looks through the windows with their three eyes? Well, they're monsters, so they might have three eyes. How many eyes peek in all together? All together. Can I read that again just to make sure I'm reading it very carefully? There are four monsters sitting on our front porch. Each one peeks through the windows with their three eyes. How many eyes peek in altogether? Okay, I read it carefully. I think I've got a good idea. Let me go see what step two is. Step two, circle all the numbers, comma. Let me just do one at a time. Circle all the numbers. So I'm going to come right up here. I'm going to go here to this little scribble line here, and I am going to read it again. There are four monsters, so I'm circling that. It's not a very nice circle, but you get the idea. Through the windows with their three eyes. I'm gotta go back up here to scribble, and I'm gonna circle this number with their three eyes. Okay, good, good. Okay, let's go see what next step is. Underline the math words. So I'm looking for those words that we use in math that tell me what to do. I'm gonna underline them. There are four monsters sitting on our front porch. Each one, wait, one, isn't that a number? Okay, they just wrote it in word form. I better go back and circle that though. I missed that the first time, but now I can go back and circle that one because that is definitely now each is a math word. I'm going to underline that because each is a math word. It means one. It tells me that one monster peeks through the windows with their three eyes. How many eyes peek in all together? Ooh, all together is definitely a math word, isn't it? When we come up here to line and under that, it means everything all totaled up in one big total all together. Okay, all right. I underline the math words. Let's go back here and it says circle all the numbers. Yep. Underline the math words. Okay. Box the question words. So I'm looking for those words that tell me, those clue words that tell me we're asking a question. Who, what, when, why, when, where, how. Yeah, those words. I'm going to look for those. There's a nice little symbol right here that gives me a clue that we've got a question going, huh? Because it's a question mark. This must be a question if there's a question mark, right, Jace? Yeah. But I'm looking how many, how. That's my math word right there. How many? That's definitely my question words right there. And I want to put a box around those question words. So let me come up here to shape. And I'm going to go right over here to box. And I'm going to put a little box around how many. Okay. Oh, where'd my words go? Oh, I've got this little gray color. See how my little fill color is gray right here? See that little gray? I don't want my fill color to be gray. I want it to be transparent, not white. See, white just makes it white. I want to come up here and make it transparent. That means you can see through it. A window is transparent. Doop, there we go. Now I've got a box around the question words. Okay, so I circled the numbers, underlined the math words, and put a box around the question words. Okay, let's see what step is next. It seems like these steps are a long time, but you're going to get so good at this. You're just going to read every problem. Every time you see a story problem, this is what you're going to do. Every time you see a story problem, this is what you're going to do. And you're going to get so good, you're just going to fly through it. Okay, number 3, write an answer statement. This is so, so important. I'm going to write an answer statement. And remember, our answer statement uses some of these words from the question. It really helps us focus on what we're trying to solve for. It really helps us to focus on what we're trying to answer. And it really helps us check our answer at the end because our answer is going to fit in this answer statement. So I'm going to open a text box here because I have to write a question. I'm going to open a text box and I'm going to start using these words. How many eyes peek in all together? Well, I don't know yet. I don't know. So I'm going to do a line for my answer there. Blank eyes peek in all together. Spell all together there, so it's right there. All together. Okay, that's my answer statement. It uses the words from the question a little bit bigger so I can see it. Hey, look at that. How many? That's my blank because I don't know yet. Eyes, peek, peek, in, all together. I even could have written something like, you don't have to use there are blank eyes all together. See, that's another way to say it. You might have a different way to say it. There are blank eyes in total. Remember, we know that altogether means total. So if I didn't use the exact word, I used a word that's very similar. It means the same thing, doesn't it? It's a synonym. Synonym. Okay, so there's my answer statement. You don't need to write 3 of them, just one. These are examples. How many eyes peek in altogether? Blank eyes peek in altogether. Okay, good. Answer statement. Very, very important. Notice how I did the answer statement before I started solving the problem. I'm not even trying to solve it yet. I want to get my answer statement before I start solving the problem. Okay, number 4, I'm going to show my thinking with labels. Now I can start solving. And I like to draw pictures. I'm going to go to this next slide where it's nice and blank here. And I'm thinking, let's see, I've got to go back here and read it again. 4 monsters sitting on our front porch. Each one peeks through the windows. So I'm not going to draw 4 little monsters, but I might just draw 4 little boxes. Okay, and that's for my monster. Oop, where'd my box go? Let's try that again. Shape, shape, box. Okay, there you go. Now remember, I can just hit Control D and it duplicates it, doesn't it? Look at that. I don't have to go back and do 4 brand new boxes every time, do a new one. I can just do 4. Control D. Okay, I'll type that down here for you. Control D duplicates the shape. I did Control D, duplicate that. So let me check here. There's my 4 monsters. Each monster peeks through the windows with their 3 eyes. I don't need to draw windows. I don't need to draw a house and the porch and them sitting there. I just have 4 monsters with 3 eyes. And one thing I want to do is I want to label this too. I want to make sure that I know what these boxes are. So I'm going to say, these are my 4 monsters. Okay. And you know what they have? They each have 3 eyes. So now I'm gonna give them some eyeballs. I'm gonna go with a shape. I'm just giving some round eyeballs. I'm not gonna. Ooh, these are good eyeballs. There you go. There's an eyeball. And what do I do to make more of them? Control D. Got to check what you got to make sure whatever you want to duplicate, you've got to click on it so it's blue. Now Control D, Control D. Another one over here. I'll drag this over. You could also draw these. You don't need to do the little shapes if you don't want to. Control D, Control D. You could, that's no problem. You could draw this out on paper and you could take a picture of it. There's a lot of different ways that we can solve these problems. There's my eyes. What if I wanted to draw them instead? Okay, there's my eyeball. And Control D. Control D to give him 3 eyes. What if I even did this? Text box. I. Put the word I in that text box. Oh, where's my text box? Where's my word? There it is. I'm going to say I. I got 3 of them, don't I? So I. Whatever works. Each of my monsters has 3 eyes, don't they? I have 4 monsters with 3 eyes. This is really important to get this label in here. This is really important to get this label in here. I'm going to highlight it. It's so important. Okay, I'm going to highlight this whole thing because I want you to see how very important it is to label your work. Whether you did it with numbers or whether you did it with shapes. Some of you might have even done this. You might have said, hey, you know what? I know that that's 4 monsters, and I've got, let's say, 4. How many eyes do I have? I have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals, figure that out just a second. Aren't those my 3 eyeballs? 4 monsters with 3 eyes. I'm going to label it so Mr. Naughton knows why I'm adding 3 eyes on each monster. That is my label. You've got to label your work. Okay, so I know what it is. Get down. Label all of your work. Okay. Well, now I did some work there. I either drew a picture, I used repeated addition. Some of you might even want to use multiplication. Let's see what's next in our steps there. I showed my thinking. Now I got to answer the question. Well, that's easy. The question is, how many eyes peek in all together? Wow, I got this. I can look at them. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, 3, 6, 9, 12. Because I know I have 4 monsters with 3 eyes. Oh yeah, what if I just did this? And I said that was 4 monsters times 3 eyes each equals 12 eyes. Very important word I need right now, right? Together. I see how I've labeled all my work. Labeling. 4 monsters, 3 eyes each. Check my spelling all together. I'll label that. Okay, so I solved it, right? I answered the question. How many eyes peek in all together? Okay, there are 12. Let me go back and see what it says. Write an equation. Ooh, I already did that. I got a couple equations. I have repeated addition and I have multiplication. Yeah, definitely. Look, isn't that 4 times 3 equals 12? Absolutely. There you go. I'll leave that highlighted. Okay, 4 times 3 equals 12. Wrote my equation. Check my work. Does my answer make sense? I have to make sure I fill in my answer statement too, don't I? How many eyes peek in together? Now I can come back here and I can put my 12. 12 eyes peek in all together. Or there are 12 eyes total. There are 12 eyes in total. 12 eyes, excuse me, altogether. Either way you want to say that, that's fine. Just fill in the blank. So I know it. You answered your, you put your answer statement. You answered the question. And check my work. Does my answer make sense? Well, let's see. If I have four monsters and they each have three eyes, yeah, that makes sense because 4 times 3 is 12. That absolutely makes sense. I can look at my picture. Yeah, that makes sense. There's my four monsters, three eyes. Yeah, that makes sense. I am good to go. All right, have fun. As we like to say, your turn.